So in this video, we're now going to start working with broadcasting. Now you may ask, what is broadcasting? Well, as you can see, I opened this Laravel, documentation page on broadcasting. Now, in simple terms, this is just like broadcasting Laravel is a real-time communication technique that allows your web application to instantly send and receive data between server and connected clients. Now, the clients can be users or such as web browsers, mobile applications, or other devices. Well, in short, this is just it enables real-time updates, notifications, and interactions without the need for clients to repeatedly request information from the server, or rather refresh the browser to receive new information. So it will happen in real time. So if you go down here, if you check out here, introduction, we're going to use WebSockets. WebSockets, what are they? It's like they are used to implement real-time live updating user interfaces. When some data is updated on the server, a message is typically sent over a WebSocket connection to be handled by the client. This is, for example, when you comment on a photo, right, or a post. That comment, when it is updated, on that same time, when the data has been updated, we're going to broadcast a message to our WebSocket provider, and that it will send that message to the right user in our application. Now, just for a visual explanation, I created something that can help us understand better about how WebSockets and broadcasting work. So in here, you can say we have this client here. We have the broadcasting service provider. Let me turn this on. Here you have this client, which is you. It can be a browser, an app, or a mobile application. So here, for example, when we send a like for a particular post, or when we comment on a post, we're basically going to send or broadcast or send this event to our broadcasting service provider. Now this is the one which handles our WebSockets. Now our WebSockets basically live on the service provider. Like I said, we can use a service provider like Pusher, or we can host our own WebSockets, which is a bit more complicated, but it also works if you are on a budget. And when this receives a message, this typically is responsible for receiving the messages and distributing those messages to our application. Now, when the message hits our application here, in order for the user to see or receive these updates, they have to be online on the application. Otherwise, they will not be able to receive it like emails. No, they have to be like on the application and online. So now, when these messages from the broadcasting service provider hit our application, they're now going to pass through gates and channels. Now, channels are basically used to make sure that the message is sent to the right users, okay? Because you don't want to send a message to the wrong user in your application. You want to check for the ID. If it matches the ID being broadcasted, and then pass it to Laravel Echo. We have Laravel Echo, which is basically makes it a breeze to work with handling WebSockets connections and receiving data. So we're going to install this package, and we're also going to install the Pusher package. So when the message is handled by the Echo library, it's now going to be shown to the right user. For example, I was targeting user 1. So it will check for user 1 in the gate, and then it will show this message only to this user. Right, so that's how it works basically. You send an event there, it goes to the broadcasting service provider, which handles the WebSockets. This sends it back to our application, checks for which user to show it to via the channels, goes to Echo. Echo actually stays on the user's web browsers. So this just listens for these events after they've been, controlled and security checks here in the gates and channels. And the user, they basically listen to these messages via these WebSocket connections. So this is basically a simple explanation of how and what WebSockets are. It's not the best, but just, you can research more about it in order to understand better. So yeah, with that being said, let's now go ahead and start installing broadcasting so we can use it for our applications such as liking, commenting, messages, and all that. And I'm gonna try to make it extremely easy and a simple, clear process. So let's see you in the next video.